I'm a huge superhero fan too. The first superhero movie I ever watched was Batman '89. Obviously, that one came out about a decade before my time, but still, it was like the first one I ever watched, followed by the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. I remember I actually saw like a short snippet or clip of Batman '89 before I actually watched the entire thing, and it was like the final confrontation between like Batman and Joker. He's like, "You wouldn't punch a guy with glasses, would you?" Batman just socks him in the face. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What? Oh, it's just something I say to all my prey. I just like the sound of it. Whoop-bang! And then after Batman '89, yeah, the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man one, the one from 2002, that was the second superhero movie that I watched. Then, you know, as the Spider-Man movies came out, I watched them. Spider-Man 2 in 2004, and then Spider-Man 3 in 2007. Spider-Man 3 is another one of those movies where I don't care what anybody says. I've always thoroughly enjoyed that one, too. I know people have come around to it in recent years, but I know for a while, though, like, the general consensus was that it was, like, the worst of the original Tobey Maguire trilogy, but for me, I don't see any of them as, like, being better or worse than the others. I just love all of them for their own reasons, because genuinely, like, all of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies feel so unique with, like, their own message to them, and they just have, like, their own vibe. Like, the first one feels, it totally feels like something from the early 2000s, you know what I mean? It has those slightly, I don't want to say cheesy, but you know what I mean, like those early 2000s vibes, where I was like, you know, Spider-Man 2 feels like a bit more cinematic and grounded, and then like, the Spider-Man 3, it still has those Spider-Man 2 vibes, but then it also just like builds upon it, has its own story, has its own characters and villains and everything like that, and I love all of them for their own reasons. I also really enjoy the Amazing Spider-Man movies, the ones with Andrew Garfield. I've always loved the first one, and same thing with the second one. Dude, there were so many great action pieces in the second one as well. Then obviously the Tom Holland movies are great so far, especially with like No Way Home. Oh my goodness, man, seeing the original Spider-Man come back was just insane. Not just seeing them come back, but also like all of them being together at once on the same screen. Like, it's Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, two of my childhood heroes right there, especially like Tobey Maguire. By the time the Andrew Garfield movies came out, obviously I was a bit older, but still, you know, like, it just, for my younger years, you know, one of my heroes right there. Then Tom Holland, just, and he's an Amazing Spider-Man as well. Just seeing them all together on screen, it was so cool, and I can't wait to see where they take things in the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4, because with the way the third one ended, man, it's hard to say where things will go, but I'm really excited to see what they do.